Yo, man. So that boy Jerry on that yacht making some moves this offseason, huh?
For the Dallas Cowboys started on Tuesday with Dallas acquiring cornerback Stephon Gilmore from the Colts for a fifth-round draft pick. Gilmore started 16 games last season for Indianapolis and had 2 interceptions. The next day, the Cowboys released running back Ezekiel Elliott. Elliott spending 7 seasons in Dallas after the Cowboys selected him with the number 4 overall pick in 2016. And then yesterday, the Cowboys got Texans wide receiver Brandin Cooks in exchange for a 5th-round pick in 2023 and a 6th-round pick in 2024. Cooks caught 57 passes for 699 yards and 3 scores in 13 games for the Texans last season. And for more on the Cowboys, Dan Orlovsky is back with us. Dan, what's your reaction to these moves, especially the ones that Dallas did on offense?
They're huge. The Dallas has had a really good offseason. You can make the case the best offseason out of any of the teams in the NFC East. The Brandin Cooks addition matters. One, vertical speed. This is something that their offense lacked a little bit last year. So him bringing that, he's also a walking 1,000-yard receiver. He's had 1,000 yards with Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Jared Goff, Deshaun Watson, Tyrod Taylor, Davis Mills, and all kinds of offenses. So different quarterbacks, different offenses.
Yeah.
So really important. And it allows CeeDee Lamb to thrive in his role, which is middle of the field operation. So a guy that's really good at his route running and with the ball in his hands. I do like the fact that they got rid of Ezekiel Elliott because it's time for Tony Pollard to become more of a feature in their offense.
Man, I'll tell y'all like this, man. We looking good. This is truly, truly different. That's the best way to put it. This is very, very different coming from the organization. We normally make a splash in draft. I've always felt confident about Will McClay. Will McClay knows what he's doing when he sends his people out to scout, period. The problem we've always had was, what are we doing in the premise of free agency? And this year, it does feel like maybe Jerry is on that yacht out on the sea, really saying to himself, this year we got to make change. This year we got to use free agency to supply us with some of them needs, instead of going to draft praying that not one freaking draft is a bust. Because if we didn't do anything like normal, we would definitely need all draft picks to come in, come through, show out, and play. Now we're in a predicament where we can sit back and we can get the best player on the board. We're still looking at Bobby Wagner, I believe, and some other pieces possibly. But what I want to focus on today is what we got. And what we got is detrimental. We're going to start off with the obvious, Brandin, man. Brandin Cooks, we're going to let him cook, period. In my opinion, he's a great athlete. People are looking at stats and they're second-guessing. People are looking at age and they're second-guessing. Point-blank period, the dude got juice. He still got going in him. He's fast. This brings the speed that we need. And it allows CeeDee Lamb to work his magic, man. It's pretty tough to be the only stud receiver on your team. That weight, that pressure, it's a lot. Nevertheless, I still think CeeDee Lamb had a great year. He proved he can hold number 1. So I love Cowboys coming through free agency to make sure that we add to that, to make sure that we give Dak more weapons too. Yes, Dak threw quite a bit of interceptions. I also have to tell people and remind people, as a quarterback, you are under huge pressure. Everything's on you. Every failure is on you. So with that being said, we don't know the pressure that Dak portrayed during these games of only having one receiver that he could truly rely on. We knew towards the middle of the season, mid-end, that Michael Gallup wasn't quite himself, should we say. So if we found out like that, I mean, come on, Dak knew. So a lot of the things that Dak was going into the year with, he won't have to go into the year with this year. And I love that we're fixing it during free agency. The running back that we drafted, Ronald Jones, I think he can be a great little piece. If you go back and you look at this year with Ezekiel Elliott and TP, it wasn't that bad, man. Wasn't that bad. The 1-2 punch worked. Now imagine having a 1-2 punch with that second person having a little bit more juice than Ezekiel Elliott had. I don't want to disrespect, degrade, or let you forget what Zeke meant to the team. Zeke was detrimental. His first years coming into Dallas was major. He did great things for us. Great things. But now we're at a point to where we have to reevaluate and we have to look at the books. And I feel like Steven and Jerry finally are being proactive. We can't sit here and keep not being proactive during the period of free agency. It is way, way too important to me. If you look at teams that were successful last year, these teams were active. These teams moved and made moves and spent money during free agency. We may not be spending a lot of money. Nevertheless, we're doing it the way Jerry would like it to be done, but we're getting things done. And these are not Dollar General players, Hell, they may not be Winco, but shit, they Walmart, you know what I'm saying? And Walmart got name brand. We got name brand talent that just got added into the team. We'll leave off of Brandin and we'll talk about Gilmore, man. Stephon gonna be nasty on defense with us, man. Imagine being the only corner on your team and having to hold down the fort. Now he got DBs and secondary that can help him. That can be a assistance that can add on to his play. I think that's gonna be nasty. I'm looking hella forward to watching Stephon Gilmore, Diggs, and my boy Deron Bland, because Deron Bland is a freaking stud. My only fear with him, I ain't got to worry about no more. My fear with Deron was that they were going to move him to QB2. And I feel like if we would have did that, that would have jacked up his career. I don't feel like he's a QB2. I knew when we drafted him, he was a nickel guy. And he's a hell of a nickel guy. Kind of gives you some more run support, too, out in that open field. That's another cat that's going to come down. Ain't going to try to lay the wood. Diggs not so much of our tackling guru, if you will. You know what I mean? We're going to leave him in coverage. We're going to let him play his ball in the air and turn himself into a receiver like he likes to be. But with having Gallimore on the other side, it makes it to where Gilmore. It makes it to where you really you can't pick nowhere. You can't pick on nothing nowhere, really. And you as a quarterback will have to make the decision, do I want to test Gilmore, or do we want to go ahead and just throw it to Diggs, given the notion that Diggs would give us a 50-50 ball in some quarterbacks' opinions. A lot of people look at Diggs and say he's not a good corner. But hell, nevertheless, these quarterbacks are real cautious about throwing it that way. So, defensively with secondary, we coming in and looking pretty damn solid with that. That's free agency. And that's what makes this so detrimental, is because we're not – Jerry has not been the type to make us happy during free agency. We always kind of go, what the hell is this? Who the hell is this? Speaking of which, man, we did acquire another O-lineman. This cat, to me, is death. He's not a plug and play. He's not a lineman that's going to come and just be there, man. I see him more as a depth player that comes with good flex in him, meaning he can play tackle and guard for us. Wouldn't put him at center, nor do we have to really worry about that. We have a backup center that is getting healthy and will be ready to go for next year. We still got Collins, which I thought surpassed Josh Ball, at least. I mean, It's not saying much with it being Josh Ball, because Josh Ball ain't really much, other than a freaking headache out there for us. Somebody that provides a lot of penalties and just too damn weak to be that size, if you're asking me. But nevertheless, I look at what we are doing and I say we're doing good. Chuma Edoga, I don't even know how you say his last name. Edoga, whatever his name is, man. I know he was with the Falcons. He did a little stint with the Falcons. He was with the Jets. Didn't play much at all last year. But grades don't look retardedly low or bad. Like I said, it's a depth piece, and it's a depth piece that I'm okay with. If you look at linemen and you look into drafting a lineman with our picks, keep in mind our picks. Like, don't act like we had a shitty season and we got some top tier picks. We don't, guys. My dream, as I've said and stated on here, is to get Bajan. But even to do that, we would have to somehow trade down. We would have to do a trade down. And we would, in my mind, ideally, we would need to trade down to about the first, 10 picks, bro. ESPN has him linked to be gone, first picks of 10. So it'd be nice to get him. It's kind of a far reach, but Dallas knows what they can do. If I look at anything, man, I just kind of salute and tilt my head to the fact that, we're doing something, damn it, and it ain't nothing. If you told me this year thus far we had got Stephon Gilmore and we got Brandin Cooks, like I said before, I would be completely fine with that. I would say that's a B offseason just with that, nothing else. Because they're both names that are known, respected, and we know what they're going to bring. It's not something we got to go, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, like, who's this cat? In the past, it's always been, who the hell? What the hell? Or a practice squad guy. Somebody that was stashed somewhere, and we really didn't even know who they was. Man, guys, we know everybody that's coming through. Even the running back, Ronald Jones, man, I feel like we'll have some success over here, man. When I think about Zeke, and then I think about who we got free agency, I go, the Zeke that left, he can replace that for sure. And if that can be done, salute. I'm not so sold on just having Tony Pollard and Malik Davis. I'm not so sure on how I would actually feel about that being my Super Bowl running backs. Tony Pollard, yes, for sure. But, guys, we've never given Tony Pollard the amount of work that we've ever given Zeke. We gave Zeke work like 300 carries. Like my boy Dayon came on and said last time we went live, Zeke was taking in 300-plus carries, man. And, it had a year or two or maybe 3 of doing that like that. And nevertheless, they always around 250. So when I think about Tony Pollard, I don't want to put my boy out there to have to take 300 freaking carries. I don't think he's a 300 carry back. I do think he's a 200 carry back. So having Ronald Jones come through and provide that extra plug-in is nice, because you can honestly say he can provide you a little bit more juice than Ezekiel Elliott gave you. And that's good. So that's a check mark for me. More things to come. I do believe we have one more little free agent signing to go. We still got players that I would like to bring back and make sure we sign. This video is mainly about outsourced bodies that we've brought in, but I mean, even the re-signings that we've done so far have been pretty detrimental, been pretty good. So we kept our safeties. We got our safeties, guys, and that's a sexy 3-piece rotation. They're nasty, man. They are the dogs of our team. So we got Donovan Wilson, we got Malik Hooker, and we damn sure got Jerron Kearse. So solidifying the back safety end, we're good. Wilson was huge. That was a huge signing. Also, as you know, we recently went ahead and re-signed Dante Fowler. I heard Shannon Sharp talking his crap about Dante But my thing was, because he was saying, he's a 3rd-round pick, so he should be on some Hall of Fame and he should be doing this and that. Look, guys, we have a rotational type of defense. So with him being and playing the way Dan Quinn played him, Dante Fowler did a damn good job. With his minimum amount of plays, he produced 6 sacks. He gave us 6-7 tackles for loss. He gave us 27 tackles, and I'm cool with that. He was not a starting DN. He's not in, on the defense 80% of the time. This guy's he was used as a rotational piece. So with that being said, I love it. And if you don't love what Dan Quinn does with his rotation, love and respect, but you're a fool. You're a fool. With those rotation type of schemes, our defense stays, in my opinion, energized and hungry. Next cat's up. He's in. It's your time for a few plays. He trying to get something going in a few plays. And I noticed that. I seen that. Even when you think about rotating in Sam Williams, Armstrong, Lawrence, and Parsons, Dante Fowler. Dog, those were dogs. It was beautiful. I do feel like we had like a tad bit of a wind down with our pass rush around the time our cornerbacks went down. Which, weird, but I guess quarterbacks were able to get the ball off faster. I'm not quite sure. But what I do know is it tendered down a bit with keeping your secondary solidified, possibly making sure you plug in your middle of the field, meaning getting us a DT or, re-signing Jonathan Hankins, which would be ideal for me because Carlos Watkins too. When we asked him to come in, Carlos Watkins, he came in and he played ball. Carlos weirdly has had some little great flashes. If we can get these players back, cool. But I would definitely like some new energy to come in there. I'm gonna check on these guys, but I heard something about Isaac Alcorn. The Mexican player, or not Mexican, I'm sorry, the player from Mexico that we got. So that's on like the international deal. So it doesn't really even affect stuff. We get to keep him. We've been able to keep him. I don't know how long that goes, but I heard something about us moving him to D-line. But I'm gonna keep you up tuned about it. I'm not gonna give out too much until I know it's sure. I don't want to speak falsely into your ears. But yes, I have heard something about Isaac Alcorn, however you say his last name, going into the D-line. One thing I can say about him is that cat is loyal. I remember even just watching the 50-50, the whole documentary when they did on the Cowboys a few years ago. When I seen him, it was nice, man. Good energy, good personality. But even when he got on the field, you can tell he played with some passion. But as an O-lineman, now you take that same passion and put it on defense where you get to go, hit something. He may not be something to sleep on. He may not be something to sleep on. I'm curious if that was a Dan Quinn type of request. Like, yo, let me get him. Like you can't really use him on offense like you would like to. He came in preseason, didn't look bad, but very raw in things and situations. But imagine him D-line. I think he can disrupt something because he's like, he has some push. He got some passion. I like his skill set, period. But not necessarily as for his skill position, if that makes sense. I like his skill set and the mindset of like his passion behind who he can be nasty. If we're talking about moving him to D-line, I do see him maybe being a play disruptor. Bring him in for like a special package, if you will. You know how Dan Quinn likes to do. We're going to be okay this year, man. I'm not going to hold y'all on today. Had to come in, had to talk about everything taking place. Again, we will be okay. Draft will be relaxed for us this year, guys. This will be the first time we'll go into draft and doom, 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 doom. When you hear that, you kind of just like, oh, okay, who we getting? Who we got? You know what I'm saying? Because man, we're dealing with a lot. We're fixing a lot. If that rumor is true, that he's gonna move to D lineman, that's gonna be detrimental, and I feel like it's gonna work. Isaac Alcorn, I don't know if he's gonna play for you on offense like that. But like I said, from what I've seen from him, watching the documentary, the Cowboys documentary on him a few years ago with the 50-50 crowd, I loved who he was. I loved his energy. I love what he brought to the team. I love the passion. So, yeah, I would like to see him be able to utilize all that energy, all that passion with a more hands-on position where he can push and engage instead of have to protect. And we'll see what he can bring. Like I said, I'm going to check on that rumor for y'all, man. I'm not I'm not going to fully just, like, sell that out. But from what I've read, what I've heard, what I've seen so far, that looks like to be pretty true. In fact, when I get off of here, I will be probably going to dig and dive into that. Also been diving into some of the prospects for DT. I'm looking and wondering exactly who could be on the board when it comes time to pick a DT. Where do y'all think, when would we pick one? What round? I'm pretty sold that first round would probably go to a running back. As ignorant as the NFL may call it, I'm pretty sold it'll be a running back, first round. We would need to address that. And I'm so looking forward for off-season's position battles. It'll be better than it was last year. Right now we're sitting with 4 running backs that's about to compete. Really 3 because, Tony TP good. He going to be on his veteran status this year now. He going to be just kind of chilling, making sure he's staying healthy. See, I don't. Hey, y'all let me know, man. Let me know who y'all actually want for DT. We got some options. And I don't know if it's something we would have to necessarily deal with within the first 3 rounds. But I do know if we don't re-sign somebody like Jonathan Hankins or Carlos Watkins, or at least bring over a DT in free agency, it will be another concern for me. Linebacker, still a concern for me. I want us to be active, but I want us to be smart. And so far, honestly, I feel like we've been pretty damn smart with our free agency drafts. Our free agency moves. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to have faith, continue to relax our soul. We know that Will McClay is on his movement of doing things. He's proactive, and with the okay and yes and the go ahead with Jerry, we got to salute to the front office, guys. We got to say we're moving, we're doing things, and we're going to continue to do things, baby. It's Cowboy Nation, and it's, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. Keep your head held high, man, and be happy. Dog, we're proactive as hell, man. A lot of teams are proactive, but it's not normal for us to be proactive. Remember that. So maybe we got a chance this year to really disrupt and be solid. Keep in mind, as well as we're getting better, these other teams are trying to get better too. So we got to be aggressive. This is why we want aggressiveness. We're getting it so far. And I'm comfortable. I feel good this offseason. It's the first offseason in a long time where I felt real comfortable this early. Normally I'm stuck having to wait after draft just to feel freaking comfortable in a sense that, okay, let's see what this cat can do out of the draft. Now I can kind of rest assured and be kind of relaxed knowing that we've definitely dealt with a receiver situation. And that was just in your face. It was huge in your face. Like, yo, we got a receiver problem. So we're good. We're good to go. we're going to be all right. Hey, man, it's the Coleman Cowboys. This has been my time. Shout out to those that support come through. Check out the videos later. I know I've done this video pretty early from normal. I try to do it like 8 o'clock and 7. But I've been just kind of jumping around, making sure I throw it out when I can throw it out. I will get better. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Ho!
I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. I'm him.